Nothing too significant or severe, but you might want to twist back to the left in your chair. And then I like to roll my head a little bit around, maybe clockwise. Just let it get a little loose, and then counterclockwise, and help it come back to center. And then you might even roll your shoulders backwards. You can roll them forward, but honestly, your shoulders are being pulled forward all day long as you're typing and texting. And so just bringing your shoulders back is a really good idea. So in a moment, we're going to start the meditation. And of course, your mind will wander, and that's totally normal and absolutely okay. But I would just encourage you throughout the meditation, when you do find your mind wandering, come back to either my voice, or you can come back to your breath. And yeah, that's all you got to do. So if you've got a comfortable spot, you've made yourself comfortable, maybe your hands are in your lap or your hands are palm down on your legs. Let's take a deep breath together, and we'll close our eyes. So I always encourage you to let those first few breaths be nice and strong and big breaths. Really feeling the fullness of the breath. Maybe even feeling your shoulders rise. Feeling your lungs expand. But also feeling the fullness of your exhale as well. As you take your next exhale, just very intentionally let the whole breath go. You can even feel your shoulders release as you let it go. You can imagine your arms and hands sinking into your legs and your lap. And you can even feel the whole weight of your body just supported wherever you are at this moment, supported by your chair or your seat or your cushion. And just acknowledging that support for a moment. Yeah, knowing that you're held, you're physically supported, and as we deepen this, we'll also drop into those emotional supports. So as you take this next breath, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is actually see if you can imagine that breath just moving through your whole body. Almost like a stream or a river just meandering down through the center line of your body, and down through your legs. And I'm going to invite you to bring that breath and your attention all the way down to the bottom of your feet. This is a great place to first begin a meditation, and the reason being is it's so far from our heads and our minds. So as you bring your awareness down to the bottom of your feet, and with it your breath, maybe just notice those points of contact with the ground for a moment. See if you can notice those parts of your feet that are touching the ground, whether it's the front or the back, the inside or the outside. And as you continue to breathe, also start to expand that awareness, maybe even to the tops of your feet, noticing the temperature. Is it different from the bottom? Is it the same? As you take another breath, also feel the weight of your feet. And as you begin to feel the weight of your feet, I would encourage you on this next in-breath is almost imagine you could exhale out right through the bottom of your feet. You're breathing in through your mouth, and you're exhaling out right through the arches, the heels, and the toes of your feet. And a great image I love to use with students and adults is as you take this next breath, just imagine roots growing down out of the bottom of your feet. Almost feeling your feet open and that rooting expanding. And that can almost feel like a magnet, just really pulling your feet down, sinking into the ground. Sinking into whatever space you find yourself in at this moment. And as those roots go down, that's a great image too, where you can just start to exhale out some things that might be very heavy, that have gotten stuck, whether in your mind or your body over the course of this week. So I'd encourage you now, maybe just let come to mind a thought that you have had a lot of this week that just keeps reappearing. And imagine that thought is like a stone or some type of object, a rock, and picture it on this next breath as you breathe in, just that stone and rock just falling down into that stream, just rolling all the way down through you and then right out the bottom of your feet. And you can do this with as many stones or objects, whatever you want to imagine them as, leaves, twigs, sticks, just some of those thoughts, finally letting them go and letting them go through your whole body, just right out the bottom of your feet into the ground. And as you begin to do that, take a few deep and long breaths, feeling the breath moving through your body, feeling the breath exhaling and leaving through the bottom of your feet. And then become even more aware of your whole body. So as you take this next breath now, we can go back down to the feet, but we'll follow the inhale up and become aware maybe of even now your ankles and your shins. See if you can feel the weight of your knees and your thighs, your whole legs. And for a moment, just pause on that thought, just as you become aware of your legs, of all the things they've supported you, and the ways in which they've supported you, and all the places they've taken you. And acknowledging that, but as you take this next breath, even letting them go. So just letting them just be totally washed away with your next breath. And bringing the breath now back into the center. So bringing our awareness up, also coming into our core, coming into the center of our body and feeling all of the emotions and thoughts that we have buried within our own body, often anxiety and fear we hold in the core of our being. Just taking a couple deep breaths into that space and letting those go too. Just imagining those washing away in this stream or this river. And with each breath, feel yourself both releasing, but also just letting your awareness rise a little higher. So now you're just aware of your heart and your lungs. And just take a few deep breaths into this space, and you can feel within your heart some of the emotions you've had over the course of this week, and maybe some of the people connected to those emotions. So as you do that, you might just pause for a moment, just picturing someone very special or someone you know, where you feel a strong emotional connection, and just breathing into that space, feeling that within your heart. But then as you take this next breath, also letting that go through that river of your breath. Just for a moment, just letting it go. And as you do that, letting your awareness rise even higher up into your shoulders, maybe even down your shoulders with the breath into your arms and your hands, feeling a tingling sensation within your fingertips. And for a moment, just like you did with your legs, just for a moment, thinking about all the things you've held with your hands, but also all the things you've held emotionally through the course of this week. all the people, all the expectations, all the spaces, and just take a deep breath and then let those go. Just let those go right out with the exhale, and you can even let that go through the tips of your fingers, just feeling your hands soften and release and relax. And as you do that, let the breath be expansive and let the exhale be long and full, just totally letting go. And almost naturally, you'll feel your awareness rise even higher up into your neck, maybe into your jaw. And sometimes within our jaw, we can feel all the things that were said or unsaid. So much tension can be held there. Take a breath and feel for a moment that space and that energy. And then as you exhale, just let your neck and your jaw totally release, totally relax and soften. And the breath will be effortlessly just rising up into your mind, feeling the breath maybe in your ears, in your brow, within your head, feeling the full weight of your head. And it's almost like a heavy suitcase you've been carrying around, all those thoughts that have been within your mind. Some of those thoughts have been your own, but some have been others. Just take a deep breath and let all of that go. Just let it totally dissolve. Let the weight of your head, your mind, your brow, everything just release in your breath. And for a moment, just take a few full deep breaths. And feel your breath now as almost like big wings just opening up, something very expansive. And picture your breath filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. And I would encourage you to take a few really deep, long, slow breaths in this space. You might even picture someone across from you who could use that breath. Just picture you're breathing for them as well. You're creating space for them, but also space for yourself. And you might picture someone you know, but I'd encourage you to also maybe invite another person into your mind who you don't know and offer a breath for them as well. And then lastly, imagine just this whole circle of all of us now. Sitting in this circle, sitting in a space, but connected, and each of us breathing together. Feel that breath move through you, both your own, but also the people you're breathing with at this moment. Notice how that breath maybe shifts and changes. Notice how that feels in your body physically, but also how that might feel emotionally. And as you take the next few breaths, still with your eyes closed, let go of those individuals. Just come back to yourself for a moment. Just pause for a moment, just being very aware of the breath. And maybe setting an intention to carry this awareness through the course of your day and your week ahead. Being aware of that first breath you take in the morning and that last breath you take before falling asleep at night. And maybe even offering that breath intentionally to those who might need it through both your actions and your words. And then as you begin to do that, coming back into our bodies, maybe feeling the weight of our feet again in our hands. You might wiggle your toes and your fingers. And then when you're ready, taking one more deep, full breath, and you can open your eyes. So I'll give everyone a moment to just sort of